crazy cactus collector. Now today I have got the Cacti and Succulent tour for you inside the house and the greenhouse. There are not many in the house at the moment, but I have always had a few on my windowsill and a few on my living room window. So, and I've also bought about 4 or 5 in already for winter on the living room window, which I will show you shortly. I'm going to start off here in the kitchen, then go to the living room and then go to the greenhouse. So I hope you enjoy this look at all my cacti and succulents. There may be 1 or 2 houseplants in the tour. If they are on the way as I'm passing with the camera, I will show you those too. I don't actually have that many houseplants other than cacti and succulents left, because I tend to focus now all my time and efforts into the cacti and succulents only. So if I start off here, I actually bought this little pot. It had a different cactus in it, but I fell in love with the pot. And the cactus that came in it had to be repotted in the next size pot. So I popped this little one from the greenhouse in it for now. But it's not often I come across pots that I absolutely will spend the money out on them. But I really liked that one. So then we have the Haworthia here, which is actually rooted now. When I bought this, it had no roots, and they've actually developed now and it started growing. Then we have my variegated Thanksgiving cactus, and I think it's a little confused to the time of year, but there's some beautiful blooms there. And we have my Opuntia here, which grew some beautiful pads on it this summer. So that's looking great. And up here we have this one here, which isn't so full in this pot now because I separated some of it and have another pot in the greenhouse because it was really overcrowded. And then we have my Clyster cactus here, which has grown really well. Then down here, I'm not sure if this will bloom. It looks like it will bloom, especially if we get some sunshine, which we're not having a lot of this week. We have my Cereus spiralis, which is going one way, then it changed the other direction, and now it's started to go back the other direction, which is really unusual. I can't say I've come across many, if any, that have done this that I've seen pictures of before. I'm sure there are others, but I'd quite like to find a picture of somebody else's that has done the same. And we have a little Opuntia there. And here we have 2 jade plants, which I've bought from upstairs, downstairs, because they are the only ones upstairs. So I thought, save taking you all the way upstairs with the camera just to see 2 jade plants, I thought I'd bring them down. So this one's gone a bit wild. I may eventually next year cut that back a little bit so it grows a bit thicker, but I don't know yet. I will see next year what it does. Then we have my Easter cactus, which is doing really well. I absolutely love this. It has beautiful red blooms and it has a little pod there, seed pod. So that's really good. Focus that on there. So that is the kitchen. I'll take you to the living room window now. Okay, so these are the few in the living room window. My variegated jade, sadly I overwatered it and I was absolutely gutted because it was a tiny piece when I bought it about 18 months to 2 years ago, and it was just looking great and having a growth spurt, and the only thing I can think is I did overwater it, which is really unusual for me, but all the leaves fell off and I was just left with tons of leaves, which I am trying to propagate the leaves at least. So then we have 2 more jades there. My first ever cactus here. My bear paws there, which is doing really, really well. One of my favourites these are, and the variegated one next to it. Then my new mellow cactus. We have Pharaoh cactus, which has got loads of new growth there at the top. Buddha's temple there. which is not doing overly well. I mean, it's surviving, which I suppose is the main thing, but it's not as happy as I'd expect it to be. We got this one. I love this variegated Gasteria, I think. Absolutely love that. Loads of little pups growing out of it. And then we have this one, which again, another one of my favourites. And down here we have my beautiful Euphorbia lacti ghost, and it's really enjoyed the sun, and all this is new growth. And if I come around this side, there's a new little arm appearing, and one there, and these arms are getting longer as well. So it's had a real growth spurt since repotting and giving it some water about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm not watering it again because it's winter time nearly. We're autumn now, so I do not want to risk giving this any more water. And it will be removed from in front of the radiator once we start using the heating. That will definitely not be staying in front of the radiators. And then we have my jade plant, which is absolutely stunning, my largest one. Now, there's a little story behind this one. I went to the hospital. I had a small operation about 2 months ago, and there were a couple of old ladies selling some garden plants and house plants in aid of charity. So I popped over and saw this jade plant. Now, the branches, as you can see, I've had to cut it back. They were super long, and although it looked beautiful, they were really pretty much all like this. I kept that one on there for now, but it was all straggly, and it's like it almost had lack of sunshine because the branches were not very strong at all and going all over the place reaching for the light. So I gave it a really good cut back, and it's not the best lighting today. I've tried to put all the lights on, but you could just see all the leaves since I cut it back now just sprouting at every branch, and it's got really full and looks absolutely amazing. So I'm really pleased with that. There's even one growing off the end of that branch where I cut it. So it's looking absolutely stunning. Now, while I'm here, I will show you my string of hearts. I'll bring that down so you can have a better look at that. My variegated string of hearts. And it's flowering as well. Although most of them are drying up. Oh, there's a flower there. I don't know if I can focus that while it's wobbling around. Just about see the purple flower there. So that's doing really well, and that is how long it is. Again, it will have to be removed when I put the heating on, but that is doing super well. Now, before I take you to the greenhouse, here is my Monstera, and this has gone absolutely crazy. It's just stunning. Really pleased with this. So there's another new leaf there, not split leaf that one, but this is a fairly new leaf. And I was really pleased to see all the splits in that one. So that's doing really well too. So let's go on to the greenhouse. So on the way to the greenhouse, I'll show you these beautiful Aeoniums. I think this one's Aeonium Kiwi. Beautiful colours on this one, especially when it goes more pinky orange. And then if we come over here, I made this out of a pot that my son accidentally knocked his scooter into and it cracked. And I'd seen people do these before. And since I put the succulents in, there was only a couple of pieces. They've gone absolutely crazy with the rain now. And this has grown the best it's ever grown. So it obviously loves lots of rainwater. Anyway, we will go this way into the greenhouse. Now it's a bit of a mess in here because, and there's probably spiders as well, because I didn't come in yesterday or the day before because I'd started college. So it's a bit of a mess because I am waiting to tidy it up. I've took one side of the shade cloth down. I need to take the other side down and then put the bubble wrap on. So that's why I'm doing this video now. So the next video, that I do of a tour of the greenhouse will be all the bubble wrap up, or I will do a video showing you me putting the bubble wrap up. So if we start over here, there's the rest of the one from the kitchen window, all potted up and grown really well. We have the Ripsalis here. Again, that's just going crazy out here at the minute. So much new growth. And then we have COTYLEDON here. And if you remember, that had the big flowers, beautiful flowers, but it's all dried up now. So I'm not sure whether I need to cut that back. I probably will. And the larger Puntia that grew this new pad. And the same with this one, grew a new pad. And up here we have a few. These are just some little cuttings in the little tiny pots. And then if we start here, I've tried to still keep most of the mammillaria together and their groups, but it hasn't actually always been possible, because if we've had bright sun, and some can't take the sun more than others, I've had to move them to different shelves. Now this one got treated for mealybugs, so it didn't really do much growing this summer, but there are some new little pups peeking here and there. This was another new one. Still don't know the name of this one, so if anyone has any ideas, I would love to know. And this was a really tiny astrophytum that was in a tiny, it was actually had little glued rocks around it, and it was tiny in a miniature pot, which I bought from a shop because I thought it was sweet. But if I hadn't took it out when I did, it was literally about to die with the glued on rocks. I literally thought, oh, you know, I'll get round to repotting it. Left it probably longer than I should, and at the bottom it started to look a little like it was going discoloured. So I quickly repotted it, and it seems to have had a comeback this summer. So I'm really pleased I did repot it when I did. Some Mammillaria elongata. I don't know why I only have the one left now and a small piece here. They don't seem to do anything for me, Mammillaria elongata. I just find it, maybe because it's quite a few of them in most of the garden centres and nurseries near me, but they just do not excite me whatsoever. And then down here we have some more Thanksgiving cactus there. Now this one, I'll show you this one. It actually looks lovely all around here, and it's grown really well. That's a bit of perlite, is that? Or is that mealybugs? I better check that in a minute actually. But this side, it sort of, I guess that's rot, started to eat away at it, and then it stopped. And this summer it's just had a crazy growth spurt, and I'm thinking that is a mealybug. So after this video I need to go and check that that's not a bit of perlite, or whether that's mealybugs, and if it's mealybugs then it's time to panic. No, I will just treat it and take it out and check the roots and check the nearby plants. So here's my golden barrel. Got very large, had some really good growth this summer. And this one's grown really, really well, the big monster there. And then if we come back over here, there's my one my auntie gave me. Eve's needle, super tall. And then we have some Opuntias here, which so many new pads have grown on these. It's been an amazing summer. And I absolutely love how tall this one here's got. This Opuntia. Super tall. I'm amazed at how these grew so thick. They obviously had a good amount of sunshine. They've gone like crazily thick at the top, those, since I bought them. Everything seems to have just grown so well in this greenhouse this summer. And then there's a couple down here too. This one got treated for red spider mite. I don't know if you can see some of the damage there. It's probably a bit hard to see. There you go. You can see some of the marks. Well, I'm guessing it was red spider mite. It looked like it was, so I treated it as if it was. So, and then if we come around here, there's a flower there. Well, it was. And you can see how dirty the greenhouse is on the outside that I got to clean. But yeah, that came from here. It's all dried up now, the flower, but that's great that it did flower. And this one, absolutely love. It has gone crazy the last couple of weeks out in the greenhouse. It seemed to not do much on the kitchen window, and in the summer it just got burnt leaves, and then I've put it out now and it seems to be having a great time growing. And again, I've noticed quite a few of my euphorbias are growing now. It's funny how you come to the end of the summer and autumn starts to hit, and I'm noticing a whole bunch of the cacti and succulents that didn't do much growing or any growing are actually growing like crazy now all of a sudden. Another gasteria there, putting out loads of pups all around. And then we have my Euphorbia trigona. Couldn't speak there, had a mouthful to say that. We have some down here. And then this one down here I got given to by a friend. You can see it's grown really well and then had a bit of lack of light, so it's got thinner at the top end. But I'm just letting it dry out before I repot it, and I'm sure once I repot it, this little fella's gonna be fine. He'll have lots of light next spring and summer, and will hopefully fatten up again. But I just wanted to dry out the roots on that before repotting it. Got some more down here that are Tephro-cactus, which this was really tall and I caught it and the tops fell off, so I repotted them. They always look shriveled at the bottom, Tephro-cactus, I find. I don't know whether I didn't water them enough in the summer or that's just the way they are, but to be honest, they haven't been one of my favourites either this summer, but they may bounce back next summer and prove me wrong and may eventually be a few of my favourites. Now I'm sorry about the length of this video, it's probably going to be one of the longest videos I've actually done. But we are nearly to the end. This one is about to bloom, which is really nice to see. And this one has got some seeds in there, so that will be good. And then we have the last lot here, which are all doing super well. And I repotted a few of these because they have just grown like crazy this summer. My Hoodia. And to finish off, absolutely love this, and it's done again really well. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this super long video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.